You have tried support and resistance, and sometimes it just does not work. But well, then guess what? This is the reason why support and resistance does not work. Support and resistance is is is, is controlled by technical analysis. Is based by technical analysis. But well, then guess what? This is what is called supply and demand. And this supply and demand is controlled by big market players. When I say big market players, I talk about billionaires, big companies, big banks. So you're supposed to know when they enter so that you can then enter next time. Well, then this is what I'm going to teach you. I'm going to teach you about what is called supply and demand. Let's get to it. So with supply and demand, what happens is that you have your supply right here, right? And you have a demand zone. I'm going to explain exactly what it is. Then you have a certain demand zone, right? Let's name it right here. So this is our demand zone. This is our demand zone, right? The demand zone is below, and the supply zone is on top, right? So then this is our supply zone. Let's also name it supply zone. So what happens is that big market players and big banks tend to do this. If price is at this level, is ranging at this level, and you see market moves very drastically up to the upside, that shows that this zone is a very interesting zone. It's a zone that we will then say this is a demand zone, such that next time when price tends to come back, right, it comes back to that zone. It's ranging up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, and it taps into that zone. We tend to enter there so that when the price moves from that zone and goes up, we make money out of it. You understand? Make money out of it. Same applies with the demand zone, right? Some applies with the supply zone. The supply zone is whereby the market has just been ranging at this zone, ranging, and then it taps, and then it moves drastically to the downside. So what happens is that you wait for the market to then come back and tap into that zone, then you make money out of this move. You understand? Like this. Make money out of this move right here. You understand? So then let me give you a certain couple examples of what I'm talking about. So let's get to this. This is, by the way, Euro USD. All right, look at this. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I am talking about. All right. Here we are. So, as I say that, you see price moving drastically to the upside, just as how we did right here. Then it starts ranging and and comes back and taps that zone. When it taps, it flies. Exactly. This is what we call our demand zone. You see? This is what you call our demand zone. Demand zone. I'm going to show you some couple more examples so that you can fully understand. You then enter right there. Exactly. Taps, and then it goes to the upside, maybe targeting 1:2 or 1:3, depending on what you want to do, depending on your risk management and whatnot. So that's just basically it. Let me show you another example. Another good example is the one that I did right here, right? There it is. Just as how I showed you, right? Price drastically moves from this zone up to the upside. Moves from that zone drastically to the upside. You see this? Moves drastically to the upside. Trend ranges and comes back. And when it comes back to that zone, it taps and then it flies. You see, just as how I showed you right here. Just as this. This is how I showed you right here. Let me show you. This is the example that I gave right here. Oh, that's big. That's so big. That's so big. This is what I'm talking about. Right, that was the supply demand zone. Alright, it was this example. You see? This is what I'm talking about. This movement, whereby price goes up, ranges, comes back, taps into that zone, and goes up. What causes the price to tend to move this much? It's because they are big market players. Understand? This is where banks, billionaires, and people and big traders, in other words, were interested. This means that is why price tend to move so strong to the upside in this example. Tend to move so strong. It's because there was a lot of money that was put into this asset at this exit price. So you mark this price as a demand zone. You understand? Then price ranges, and comes back and taps into that zone and goes to the upside. When it taps into that zone, you make money out of that move because that's a price. That's a price that they are all interested in. Well, then we're on example 2. Check this out. These are big market players played on this part and went to the upside. You mark this zone, which is the most likely the last candle or the last candle before the move to the upside. This is on a 15-minute time frame, by the way, right? Then you enter right exactly there, Then you target your 1:2 or 1:3. In this case, it's just a 1:2.5, 2.4. You see, and then TP hits exactly like that. Another good example again is of this one. Let me show you another example. This is also another good example. You see, at this zone, price moved drastically to the upside. You see, flight to the upside. Then after going up, it came back slowly, ranging. Then it taps into that zone and goes to the upside. You see? Then you take your supply, your demand zone, and in this case it's a demand zone. Last candle before this move, this strong move, then your market price comes back to that zone, you enter right there, and then you target your 1:2 or 1:3 depending on what you want. This is more like a 1:2.2, 2.1 in other words. Understand? Then you make money off of that. Different from supply, different from support and resistance, in which if it's support and resistance, you most likely say this zone was tapped, so let me enter right there. And when price comes to that zone, let's say you are right here, and price comes to that zone, and it stops you out. But when it comes to support and resistance, these are zones that big banks were interested in. You understand? Not just you being interested in it because price moved a couple times on that zone. No, you're not the one who moves the market. Big banks and big billionaires are the ones that move the market. So same applies. This is another last example. See how price moved to the upside, strongly to the upside, right? Strongly moved to the upside. And when price came back, it comes back to that last candle because that's where the orders were. In other words, this candle is more like called an order block. You understand? Then you mark that zone, which is your demand zone. It's the same with supply. Supply is just the other way around, whereby you'll be selling at where price had a strong move to the downside. When price comes back to that zone, you enter a sell and then it goes down. Understand? In this case, this is a demand zone. Price drastically moved up. When it comes back to that zone, you enter and then it goes back to the upside. That shows that zone was a zone of interest, such as this zone. You understand? Such as this zone. This is a very strong zone. That's a demand zone. You enter that zone, target a 1:2 or 1:3 or whatsoever that you want, and then you make money off of it. Well then, That is support and resistance. That is supply and demand zone. And it is better than support and resistance, because support and resistance is not they are just markings on the market, just because you liked a certain zone, just because you felt like this zone was more interesting than another zone or something related to that. But when it comes to supply and demand zone, these are zones that price moved drastically. Why did price move drastically at that zone? It's because banks lacked that price, because billionaires lacked that price, because big companies liked that price and bought that asset or sold that asset. So next time when price tends to come back at that zone, people and those same banks and companies tend to like that price. So when it comes back to that zone, maybe it's a demand zone, you come and also buy. If it's a supply zone, you come and sell. So anyways, that is supply and demand zone. This is your boy Rasi FX, teaching you about trading. Don't forget to like and subscribe and share this video with a friend or a colleague. Anyways, peace. See you in the next video.